My name's Ian Steed. I'm a BI Fellow at Hughes Hall. And my work is about, in a sense, challenging the international aid sector. How do we support local people in local communities, in poor communities, to work together to support themselves so that these organisations work for them rather than for their northern counterparts, the people who are sharing the money. I spent my degree learning about medieval German and medieval Dutch, which really excited me, and I ended up working in Germany as part of my year abroad and working in a Red Cross refugee home with refugees who at the time were coming mainly from Bosnia, Kosovo and Afghanistan and other countries at the time, and it brought me into this world of international development, international humanitarian actor that I hadn't really been aware of. I then found myself, through a series of chances, working in Geneva for the International Red Cross. I think the project that I feel proudest about back in the days, in the early 2000s when I was an intern working for the International Red Cross in Geneva, I was asked to produce a paper with support from colleagues. How would you go about moving an organisation from being entirely dependent on international aid to being entirely based in communities, to having a community volunteer base in every part of the country? And that was obviously, a theoretical piece at the time, but it got written up into a paper. Burundi Red Cross picked that up. And this was a post-conflict country, and communities in that post-conflict society were not talking to one another and desperately poor. And the Red Cross was able to see the potential and see the vision of not being dependent on international aid, but rather having a first aider in every community to be there all the time. And they picked up this paper and they started it. And then suddenly they're coming together and saying, who's the most vulnerable person in our community? What could we do for them? The contribution that has made to basic human dignity in these communities, that I'm incredibly proud of as an intellectual exercise that has turned into really concrete benefits for people in communities. I think one of the things I really like about Hughes are the people, the variety of people, the fact they're coming from all over the world, the different conversations you have, whether it's with senior academics who I would never normally meet, or a student who's here for a year from Singapore doing something I have no comprehension of. And it's such a warm and welcoming community. I think it's a real privilege to be part of it, and I really, really am grateful for that.